suggested some sort of brand extension.
Ruthless aggression. Allow me to introduce you to the new general manager of Raw, Eric Bischoff.
Who in the green hell are you?
I lie, I cheat, I steal. And at WrestleMania,
I just hear myself say 3 minutes.
well, let me tell you something, brother.
Whoa.
Hello and welcome to Dits versus Josh, a show where Josh loses every single week and Dits has a bloody good time marveling at it all.
Oh, I put that gif of Gordon Ramsay saying, "Oh, fuck off," because, oh, fuck off. I don't even, I went on, listen, if I'm looking at that show by show last week, of course I didn't watch Raw last week, but I did watch SmackDown, and I would go to bat that SmackDown was the better show, and not only that, I was in the interest of time last week, and I went for 20 minutes while you talked for like an hour.
Was it that long, was it? Fuck.
Yeah, I think it racked in. I think you started talking around the 10-minute mark, and then you finished around about an hour and 5, and then I talked,
Shit.
and the podcast went for an hour and 21 minutes. So I talked for like 15 minutes about SmackDown.
I think I was just so excited about Raw, and I was going back through all my old notes from last week, and there was fucking paragraphs. There was so much stuff, and then looking at what I have this week, it doesn't even compare. I will not be going for an hour and 5 minutes today. I can assure you.
Honestly, I may, because my show is wild with a capital, well, with all caps. It's just there's a lot of stuff that's like happening on this show. But I've just realized something. It's just like wasn't even so it's not okay. So we now made we don't need to assume anymore. This is the thing. It's not SmackDown or Raw. People just like you more, Dits.
That's a given, really. It's not just you. It's in all walks of life, mate. It is what it is. You just got to accept it, like everybody else has had to.
On my own network, doing me dirty on my own network. It is what it is. I don't care that much. I just cried a lot, but it's fine. 7-2. Like, come on, people. Come on. Do I need to take a different route? Do I need to start being a complete and utter C word to people for them to vote for me? I don't know.
I think the day you accept that this is the flagship show of the Josh Robinson 00 network is the day that I think people will start taking you seriously. I think that's what the issue is, to be honest. They look at you and go, that's not the flagship, that's a fucking joke. That is a fucking joke.
Isn't it better to fight from underneath, Dits? Isn't it better to be the underdog story? Because when you're on top, people will start hating you. So if I was to come out and say Dits versus Josh is the flagship of this network, wouldn't then people start to hate it because everyone hates you when you're on top?
I guess I could accept being the secret flagship of the show. People just accept it, but they just don't talk about it.
It's like WWE coming out and saying that NXT is the flagship of WWE, when clearly we know it's the best product they produce on a weekly basis. But they're not going to tell you that. They're not going to tell you that NXT is better than Raw or SmackDown. That's not going to happen, is it? Now, is it?
Yeah, I think you're just trying to defend the situation.
Honestly, I said the same thing to Kevin last week, so let's just keep going with that one. But we'll just deflect for another. That buys me for another week. Speaking of next week, guys, next week's going to be a little bit of a different week here on the network. We're actually going to be switching up just for the 1 week. Reverb's going to be coming out on Monday next week, and Dits vs. Josh is going to be coming out on Friday next week.
Further cementing the point that it's the flagship.
So Friday means flagship in this network? Okay.
Hey, Wrestling Reverb has been your baby since day one, and that is a Friday.
That's true.
And Dits versus Josh is just coming out on a Friday. See, there you go. We're taking over, baby.
We'll see how this goes. So yeah, Reverb's going to be coming out on a Monday. You've seen my tweet. I'm having Queen on for an NXT TakeOver in Your House review. So that'll drop at the same time you're hearing this next week. But Friday, we're going to be having Dits versus Josh. Don't worry, we're not going away for too long. And then back to normal. You'll see all my tweets about that. But I'll keep you posted all through the week about what's going on next week. But yeah, so you'll get us on Friday next week. So it's nearly a 2-week gap with no Dits versus Josh. Nearly. But hey, you get to go into your weekend next week with Dits versus Josh. Which is...
It's a good time.
I mean, it's gonna be different being like, wait, Reverb's already done for the week. Now I got to promote this. Yay!
At the end of the day, you're still part of this fucking thing.
Yeah, that's true. I'm doing myself dirty here. I'm kidding. I love this show, so I'll just sip my coffee, talk away.
It's an okay show for what it is, I guess.
You should be the one that likes it more. You're the one out here winning every damn week. Maybe if I won, I might call it the flagship. Hey, there we go. If I win this week, I'll call this show the flagship. There you go. There you go, everyone.
Yeah, but how long are you calling this thing the flagship? Because I will not.
As long as I win. As long as I keep winning.
That's not really worth it, really.
It is. It is worth it, actually, for your information. When you're down 7-2, you'll do anything. I'm turning heel, guys. I'm going rogue. I don't know. I want to win. I'll win by any means necessary. I should hack the voting system. I should hack it.
Yeah, don't do that. I'll still find a way.
Yeah, you will. With all your damn accounts.
67. Not 69.
Well, no, because you're mature.
I am a mature individual, as anybody who knows me can attest.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So, I don't know about you, but I'm ready to talk about Raw because there's a lot of SHIT to talk about in this damn episode.
Yes, let's get you out the way and
so I'll talk for the next hour, and then you get to talk for 15 minutes at the end.
Yeah.
No, this will not go for an hour. I would not want to put myself through that. Because the first segment of this show, before the intro, before we get any pyro, anything, it's Ric frickin' Flair, of course. Flair is there with Arn Anderson, Chris Benoit, and Eddie Guerrero. So, because of what happened last week, I guess. I don't know. I didn't get to watch the damn show. You watched it.
Yeah, that's more or less how Raw went off.
Yeah, so,
they're still there from last week. They never left.
So, basically, Flair is here, and he's got a dozen security guards with him because he doesn't want Austin to come out and, stun his ass. So he basically says, tonight, I'm going to go out to the ring and, he said, I want to teach Austin a lesson, pretty much. But he tells Arn to stay in the back, and he's going to go out to the ring with his security guards, Benoit and Eddie. He said, Arn, you stay here to kind of keep guard of the office, basically. Then Raw opens, you get all across the nation, and we're in Dallas, Texas.
Woo!
Texas, throw up the horns. So, all right, buckle yourselves in, because this first segment, I would say it's the worst segment of the night, but it isn't. But buckle up, because it's just tip of the iceberg of what's to come on Raw. So basically, he was going on, this is his welcoming committee for Austin to, because he's been benched for the last few weeks by Flair. Blah, 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 blah. Let's get to the good stuff here. Flair rabbles on for ages about how he's better than Austin and blah, blah, blah. And he's talking about Benoit and Guerrero, how they're his welcoming committee, all that kind of bullshit. Austin ends up appearing up on the Titantron, because wrestlers have magic skills and they can just appear and they're there. So, Austin's here and he's like, shut up, Ric Flair. And I'm like, same, Austin, I feel you. But he's got Arn Anderson with him. He's in Ric Flair's office. He's pounding away. Come on, come help your boy, Rick, and pounding away on Arn Anderson. And Flair's going off. And he says, I'll stop doing this when I want a match with Benoit or Guerrero tonight. And Flair's like, fuck off. Not happening. It's just not happening. So, he says, fine. Well, what about if I have a match with you, Flair, tonight? Flair's like, oh. he goes, come on, we can do this. And Flair goes, okay, I'll agree to this match on one term. If I beat you tonight, you're benched forever. No more wrestling. You're benched. Austin's like, all right. But Austin also, he goes, I agree, or whatever. You do whatever you need to do so we can have this match. And he says, but I've been drinking all day. And Flair's like, what? And he goes, when you've been drinking all day, it makes your bladder really full. And Flair's like, what the hell? So, the camera then cuts to Arn Anderson, and Austin pisses on Arn Anderson on all over his white shirt, and your boy is dehydrated because his shit is yellow. It looks like yellow paint.
Is this like, actual piss?
No, it's not. It's not real piss. It doesn't even look like real piss. It looks like paint. It's like, what the fuck? Flair's flipping out and he says, tonight, you and me, in not a brawl, we're having an old-time wrestling match. And Austin's like, what the fuck? And he's like, if you get DQ'd, counted out, you lose in any way, you're benched forever. And then Stone Cold leaves the room by saying, Flair, you really know how to piss me off. That's not even the worst segment of that tonight. I'm like, that a man just got pissed on. And it's like
by
yellow.
Austin.
Yeah, by Austin. Why did Arn Anderson just get pissed on by Austin? Also, Austin had been drinking all day, so therefore I don't think he should be wrestling. But I don't know. I don't know what that segment... And that segment, I condensed down... It was like a 17-minute segment. It went on forever. I was like, oh my god, end. And it did by him getting pissed on. And I'll probably post a picture on the graphic of Arn Anderson's pissed on t-shirt and just how fake it looks. But yeah, your boy was dehydrated as fuck. That piss was yellow. I don't even know.
Magical stuff.
We go to a commercial. We go to a commercial. We come back and Jacqueline's in the ring in a referee shirt. Bradshaw's there. Steven Richards is there. There's no entrance, and this is a hardcore championship match.
What?
I don't know. This is the formula for tonight's show. It just come back, and I'm like, oh, they're all here. I guess because Texas. That's why Bradshaw's there, because he hadn't been on the show
and Jacqueline.
And Jacqueline, yeah. So standard hardcore trash cans, all that BS stuff. We get to a spot where Bradshaw hog ties Steven Richards. He found a rope somewhere. I don't know where. Hits a fall away slam. Does the whole thing. Spike Dudley runs in, tries to pin Steven Richards. Then Bradshaw boots him out of the thing. Bradshaw hits a... I never give Bradshaw compliments, but his clothesline really is brutal.
Oh, it's a beautiful thing.
Shit. And he hit it nasty. Oh, it was a good one on... old mate Steven Richards. And Bradshaw ends up winning. He wins the hardcore championship. Then Crash Holly comes down and he beats up Crash Holly. And Justin Credible comes down and he beats up Justin Credible. And then Jacqueline tries to win the hardcore title. But Bradshaw gets away and Bradshaw's your hardcore champion.
Fucking A.
We go backstage with the NWO.
Love the NWO.
Oh, me fucking too. Booker T and X-Pac are bickering because the NWO just argue now. That's their shtick, I guess. And Kevin Nash with bleached blonde hair. Like, this bitch just come from the salon. He's like, I'm ready. I just got my hair did. He tells them all to shut up, and he's got a very important announcement to make tonight.
Yes, I saw this.
He also says that X-Pac and Booker T both have qualifying matches for the King of the Ring. Because King of the Ring's in a few weeks.
Yeah.
So there's that. Goldust comes in and he's impersonating Coach. He's in like a WWE black shirt, the official WWE shirts. He's still got his face paint on, but he's talking normally. And he's like, it's Coach here. And this is fun. I love Goldust. Anything with Goldust is great. Booker ends up, cutting in because Goldust has been trying to get into the NWO for weeks. Everyone knows this. And he says, hey, X-Pac and Goldust have a match tonight for the King of the Ring. They said, but we'll say if X-Pac loses, Goldust is in the NWO. And X-Pac's like, get out of here. And Kevin Nash is like, you know what? I agree. So yes, if Goldust wins tonight, he's in the NWO, and I guess he's also in King of the Ring. So that's it's nice. We actually go to that match right away. X-Pac, who's still in a Kane mask, by the way. I don't know if anyone's forgotten about this, but that was like a long. That was even in. I
haven't seen him wear that Kane mask since Backlash.
I don't know.
What the fuck's he still doing running around with that shit?
I don't know. This episode of Raw is just I don't know, because I don't know what's happening in any of it. There's no segment that I'm like, that made sense. I don't get it. Anyway, so we go to X-Pac and Goldust. It's a King of the Ring qualifying, and if X-Pac loses, he's out of the NWO. This match went for about a minute. There's like a Miss Bronco Buster spot, and then basically Goldust does a Bronco Buster of his own, but very like Goldusty, like
sexy.
Yeah, that'd be the way to put it, sexy. But then ends up getting reversed out of it and roll up. X-Pac wins. X-Pac's in King of the Ring and he's still in the NWO. Boo.
Yay.
Boo. We actually go to an interview with Coach. It's actual Coach this time. It's not Goldust. It's Coach, and he's with Rob Van Dam. Rob Van Dam. They show highlights of the ladder match last week. Damn, that's a good match. I've watched that match.
Oh, it is.
That's a good damn match. Just really good. RVD, of course, is the Intercontinental Champion. He says the Intercontinental Championship means everything to him. And then in comes Paul Heyman and Brock Lesnar. Bump, bump, boom. So, Heyman actually challenges RVD to a match on Brock Lesnar's behalf, of course. RVD courageously says yes. Got right in Brock's face, too. I was like, damn.
Well, Bubba got a lot of offense on him last week, so I can't see why RVD cannot do the same.
Yeah, something I've noticed with Brock is that I know Brock went on a kind of a path of destruction in his first few months, but I didn't realize the amount of challenges he actually went through. Yeah, I know this is all leading up to where he's going, but like, whew, he's going through them. And also, like, I didn't realize that he didn't just run through everybody. Like, Bubba's kind of giving him a bit of a run for his money, and RVD now seems to be doing the same. So, I don't know. We go backstage. We're with the Hardy Boys. Matt's walking down the backstage hallway. I don't know what you call it. Hallway? Sure.
Corridor?
Corridor? Yeah, that'd be a better. Hallway's not the right word. Whatever. And he finds Jeff, who's playing the guitar. Just playing the guitar.
As you do.
Yeah. Jeff says that he's upset with Matt. And Matt's like, why? And he says, we don't live for the moment anymore. Remember Team Extreme? Remember all this? He's like, where has that gone for us? We're just doing the same thing. And Matt's like, I don't understand. And Jeff says, Matt, tonight I'm going to show you what it means to live for the moment. Matt's like, all right. Jeff walks off. And he leaves his guitar there, by the way. I was like, that shit could be expensive. Might want to pick that up. But anyway, we go to another backstage segment, and guess who's back? Ric fucking Flair. Flair's there with all his security guards and Benoit and Guerrero and Arn Anderson, who's now changed his shirt. It's no longer piss-filled. I hope he's had a shower because that piss stinks, let's be honest. And Flair actually has a lawyer with him because they're drawing up a contract for tonight's match with Austin. So he adds more stipulations to the match. Flair says that if Austin loses, he must be Flair's assistant. He says this has to be a wrestling match. And he says that if Austin throws even just one punch, he's automatically disqualified.
Which is like 90% of Austin's moveset.
Mm-hmm.
He's fucked.
Austin barges in, doesn't even read the contract, and signs it. So Flair's happy. Well, Austin's drunk, apparently, so I don't...
that's true. That is true.
I don't blame him for not reading it, so... All right. Second worst segment of the night is coming up. We have a women's championship match, but it's not just any regular match. It's a lingerie match.
Of course.
Trish Stratus defending against Terry Runnels.
What? I thought you were gonna drop in a Molly Holly there.
Terry Runnels.
Why? Former hardcore champion Terry Runnels from last week. All of 10 seconds.
So they come out and they're in their robes, because it's they got to hide up before they let the ladies loose. I guess I don't know. All right. So Trish comes out and she takes off her robe and she's wearing a nice red lace matching set. I don't know what I'm very awkward in these situations. But Terry takes off hers and she's wearing a thong. And at this point, Jerry Lawler he's gone. He's like he's in outer space at this point. Like he's like, oh my God, tits. He's just gone, he's gone absolutely mental. And I'm like, oh, this is going to be a disaster because listen, Trish, you're great, but Terry Runnels, oh man, you're not a wrestler. Please stop. And I mean that in the, just please, oh my God. So this match goes on for way too long. Like they're wrestling and there's a spot where I forget sometimes how just awful wrestling is. There's a spot where Trish Stratus goes to powerbomb Terry and all of the people in the audience just go nuts because she's up there and then like they're moving their face around and stuff. And it's like, oh man, wrestling used to be so weird. This is the element of this era that I don't miss. I really don't. It's just so like, my God. And anyway, so they do this spot. Terry nearly wins at one point, by the way. Like, I'm not even kidding. She gets a very close, very, very close 3 count. Like, it's super close. It's like 2.9. I'm like, holy fuck, Terry nearly just beat Trish. This spot, the finish, of course, is the Bulldog. Trish's famous Bulldog. And
did she actually hit it?
Yes.
This week?
She actually did hit it. And the crowd popped a lot. They popped for this Bulldog.
The Bulldog was over in 2002.
Okay, this is where it gets not great. So Trish wins, she's celebrating, and Molly Holly runs in. She runs in, goes to punch Trish, stops. I'm going to try and explain this in the best way I can, because it probably won't come out the way it's visualized. But she stops mid-punch, turns Trish around, Trish who's holding the championship, goes to punch Trish, and Trish blocks it with the women's championship. So I don't know why Molly just didn't attack Trish from behind, but she had to turn her around, and then Trish blocks it with the championship and ends up clocking Molly right over the head, Trish is going to leave, but then decides, oh, no, I'm not going to leave just yet. She walks over to Molly, looks at her, turns around while Molly's laying down out in the cold, takes off her red lace panties to reveal a thong, and then proceeds to put her panties into Molly's mouth. I don't know why. And then they replayed it. I was like, what the fuck?
She's been hanging out with fucking Paul for too long. That's what it is.
Or Austin, because they both have friggin' genital-related incidents tonight. I don't know why. And the crowd went nuts, and Molly was like, eh, and then JR was like, Molly's a virgin. And I'm like, I know, JR, stop commenting on the fact that Molly's a virgin. And Jerry Lawler I don't think he said anything once Trish took her red lace underwear off and seen that basically her asshole was out. Because Jerry Lawler was like, greatest wrestling match ever. Molly's a virgin. And I'm like, oh my God. It was...
I don't even know what even to throw in there, to be honest. That is interesting.
Again, not the worst segment of the night. We're still building to that.
Oh.
There's something worse than that. And worse than that and the piss put together. I'm telling you, it's not good. We're getting there, though. We're getting there. We go backstage. We're back with Arn Anderson and Chris Benoit. Arn's just pissed that he got pissed on, I guess.
I would, yeah, you would be.
And Benoit just says, I can't wait till Flair beats up Austin. Mm-hmm. Nothing crazy. Now, this match is the shining light of Raw. We got a tag team match between Brock Lesnar, Eddie Guerrero, Rob Van Dam, and Bubba Ray Dudley. So, and this match is really good. Like, really good. It goes for a while. It's a really good match. I was like, oh, finally, Raw's got something good to sink my teeth into today. Although it's probably more entertaining when it's just bad. But this match is damn good. Like, damn good stuff. Lots of offense from both. RVD gets a lot of stuff in on Lesnar, as does Bubba, Eddie, and RVD. It's a recipe for success. You got Heyman out there. My God, there is a spot right at the end where Brock comes in, does a beautiful F5 to RVD. Like, sent this boy flying. I was like, oh, he's never been higher. So he does that. Bubba comes in and just, like, spear tackles the crap out of Lesnar. Like, I'm talking, he just, you know, when there's spears that aren't like not like an Edge spear, no disrespect to Edge, that, like, falling cuddle. He doesn't do that. Like, he just runs right through. It was like a Goldberg spear at this point. He just run right through Brock. They were brawling. Eddie hits a huge 5-star, well, frog splash, I should say, and he ends up pinning Rob Van Dam for the win. And it was a brilliant match. I was like, this is so good. See what I mean? I talked so long about Trish and that because it wasn't good. And this one, I can't really add anything because it's just so good. But yeah, Eddie got the win over RVD. It is kind of cool. Like, I know we mentioned this a few weeks ago. I don't know if it was you or me that mentioned it, but it's kind of cool to have, like, Edge and Angle went on for so long, why Eddie and RVD was going on for so long, and they're kind of parallels of each other. Like, it's just like, it's arguably like, you could be like, well, that was a better match than RVD and Eddie, but you could switch it around and be like, that was a better match than Edge and Angle. Like, there's room for argument in that one, isn't there?
I think they started, like, bang on the same time. And, like, they've both faced, well, Backlash, Judgment Day. I mean, for me, I mean, you'll find out on SmackDown, but, yeah, last week was kind of like I would have said that was just, like, the full stop on their feuds. It is for Angle and Edge, but it seems to be continuing for not a bad thing.
The Intercontinental Champ. I'm not mad. I could watch them two wrestle forever, so
yeah.
I'm not mad at all. This segment's funny. There's an interview with the coach and William Regal. Regal has a King of the Ring qualifying match against Booker T tonight. But they ask him first about Molly Holly and what happened with Molly a little bit earlier. And he said, in his words, it was a bloody shame that filthy little toe rag Trish Stratus took off her panties to rub it in beautiful Molly's face. I was like, yeah, Trish is a filthy little toe rag. I agree, William Regal. How dare she disrespect Molly Holly like that?
Filthy little toe rag.
Yeah, filthy little toe rag. And you can't disagree with William Regal, all right? That's just, you can't do that. So if he says it, I mean, I'm not the one saying it, he's saying it. I'm not going to disagree with William Regal if he's sticking up for Molly. You know? So, just saying. Booker ends up coming in and says that he's a sucker. He interjects and says that William Regal is a sucker. And walks out.
Sucker.
And
at least it's not Kevin Nash. Week.
Regal also says he's the perfect wrestler to be king.
True.
Obviously, he says Regal is royalty. So
he gets his day.
So, Killer Ring qualifying match, Booker T and William Regal. It's an okay match. Regal tries to cheat by bringing in the European title and a chair. So he slides them both in. The referee sees the chair, goes to throw it out, and Booker clocks Regal right over the head with it. And Booker wins like that. Dirty cheater.
Oh.
Yeah. So Regal lost. And then Booker T does the spinner Rooney.
Of course.
All right. Here we are. The next two segments are the worst things I may have ever seen. Ever. All right. So the coach is backstage with Tommy Dreamer. Tommy Dreamer has a match with The Undertaker tonight.
Oh, yes.
Because of what happened last week, I guess, with the tobacco.
The tobacco spit.
And he says that he's been sick all day because he's thinking about this match with The Undertaker. Coach shows Dreamer footage of Taker assaulting Triple H last Thursday on SmackDown.
Mm-hmm.
And Coach asked Dreamer his reaction to that. And Dreamer spews into a bucket, and you see the spew come out of his mouth. Whether it's probably fake, but it looks real. Like, I was like, yuck. Okay, I don't need to see this. So we go to the match, and this match is for the Undisputed Championship. Undertaker versus Tommy Dreamer.
They are not scared about throwing out world title matches.
Oh, they're not.
In 2002, are they? Jesus Christ.
No. Oh, no. So Dreamer comes out first, and he's got the bucket of spew, because he's still spewing on the way to the ring, by the way. He spews like 2 times.
Nice.
So he puts the bucket on the stairs. Taker comes out, and he's like, yuck. Like, gross. There's spew. Anyway. Bell rings, and Dreamer puts up his hand and goes, no, Taker, just wait. He walks out of the ring. And it looks like he's going to spew again. But instead of spewing, he puts his hands into the bucket and he eats his own vomit. I have no fucking words to describe what the fuck just happened.
Why?
I don't even think this isn't even the peak worst of this segment. It goes down from here. I mean, I didn't think you could go down by eating his own vomit, but here we go. So Taker's like, yuck, gross, turns away, and Dreamer comes in, vomit still in mouth, and starts attacking the Undertaker. He does clotheslines, and you see vomit come out of his mouth, and it's just like, this is fucking gross, dude. This is just gross. So we break down the match. Taker ends up taking control. And Taker wins with a submission, like a dragon sleeper. I don't know if he was doing
he used to do that, didn't he?
Yeah, I don't know if that was the first time he did it, or was he doing it beforehand? It was like a standing dragon sleeper.
Yeah, it's definitely a big evil thing.
Yeah. All right. So Dreamer ends up rolling to the outside. Taker goes to leave, but he's like, I'm not done here. And no, he's not going to take off his panties to reveal a thong, because that would have been better than what he's about to do. So he grabs the bucket of vomit, walks around to the announcer's desk where Tommy Dreamer is laying just in front of. He goes to threaten to throw it on Lillian Garcia for some reason. Lillian's like, ah. Goes over to Dreamer, stands right over the top of him, and he pours this whole bucket of vomit on Dreamer's face and all over him. And I'm like, ew. Then, continuity, someone attacks Taker from behind. Jeff Hardy. Drop kick, baseball slide, and Taker lands right in that vomit.
Oh, nice.
And Jeff runs up away, does his little Hardy Boy sign, and he just says, mouths to the audience, lives for the moment.
Oh, there we go.
But Taker's got vomit all over him now.
Yeah, he's not going to be happy with that.
Oh, he wasn't. Because we go backstage and Undertaker is there, back from a commercial, and Matt Hardy's there. And he says, where's your brother? He said, I don't know, man. He just left. He says, can you please give him a message? Matt says, yeah. Boom, big boot. Then he throws him into a wall, right? But the wall, like, obviously was like a prop wall, and when he went into it, the prop wall moved, and you just see a bunch of backstage assistants just standing there, and they're like, oh no. And like, you just see, like, as they're coming away from the wall just slowly moving back in from people just pushing it back together. It's like the funniest thing. But yeah, Taker beat the shit out of Matt. Yeah. So those last couple of segments were fucked. I just seen a man eat his own vomit, be poured with his own vomit onto him, and then someone drop kicked into vomit after vomiting in the previous segment. What the fuck?
That's a lot of vomit.
I don't like vomit.
For one show.
I'm not a vomit guy. I know it's not real vomit, but that still made me feel gross. Like, I feel like when I look at vomit, I can smell it. And I don't like that. Who likes vomit? Yuck. It's not a nice feeling to vomit. It's not good. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just awful. And it's just like, you just ate that, dude. I don't care if that. You're implying that that's real vomit. That's disgusting.
It's not the end, really, is it, either, for Dreamer? I don't think.
I wish it was, to be honest. I'm like, yuck. Here's something good. Here's a good segment. Kevin Nash comes out, and he says it's time to make this
Well,
major
hang on,
announcement.
whoa. Good segment. Kevin Nash.
Hey,
How
they
is
go
that
hand in hand.
How is that in the same sentence? Because this is obviously going to involve the NWO in some way, shape, or form, and you are linking that with a good segment.
This
Good
one's
God.
a good one. This one's a good one. This one's a good one. He says sometimes announcements don't live up to the hype. And he says, I know I've hyped this segment, which they've only talked about in one fucking sec. They didn't even hype it at all, but okay. Kevin Nash in his own brain has hyped this up. And he says, it's time to introduce the newest member to the NWO. Does the signature, the deal that Kevin Nash does, all the, the Click Boys do. And out comes Shawn Michaels, short hair and all, dancing around with his little hat on, pyro and all the good stuff. Shawn Michaels is back and he's wearing NWO colors. They pose. They don't say anything, but they pose. They do their famous little too sweet, and then their big high five spot. Where the one where Shawn jumps up and he gets the big boy on his hands. They do their little poses and the crowd goes mental. I'm like, cool. All right, Shawn's fine. I'm fine with that. It might actually add layers into the NWO that I care about. Probably not, but I don't remember too much about this, so. I know that Shawn was in it, but I don't really remember watching too many great segments with the NWO Shawn Michaels version, to be completely honest.
I remember one thing that is coming up, and it sets things in motion, which is good, but yeah, it's not really... It's kind of... I know you want this to be a big deal, but I'm not seeing it as a big deal. It's kind of one of those things.
Yeah, I'm sure at the time I was like, oh, Shawn. But... I was like, cool. On this Raw, right now, it's the best thing that's happened. So, calm down. All right, so they don't even say anything, but we go to backstage and Steve Austin and Deborah's there, and Deborah's actually reading the contract that Austin signed, and she's laughing. Austin's like, what the fuck are you laughing at? I'm drunk, basically. She reads a section of the contract, and it actually doesn't state that if Austin loses, he's Ric Flair's assistant. It actually states the loser of the match is the winner's assistant. So Austin's like, oh, right. So if I win, Flair's my assistant. So we go to the main event. Steve Austin versus Ric Flair for the first time ever on television. They've never wrestled one-on-one on TV. Only ever on pay-per-view. So, big deal. Remember, Austin can't throw a punch because he'd be DQ'd. So that's the basis of this match, is Austin like, oh, is he going to do it? And the referee's like, nah, bitch, you can't. And he's like, oh, fuck, but all my moves are like punches, and what am I going to do? They wrestle around for a little while. We'll get to the kind of finish of this. Benoit makes his way down, and the referee's like, no, Benoit, you cannot be out here. You're not allowed to be out here. And he's pointing at him.
Bad Benoit.
Yeah, bad boy. And he's like pointing at him. He's like, don't do it. Eddie Guerrero runs in from the crowd and clocks Austin, hits a frog splash, and runs out of the other side of the crowd. Flair goes for the cover. 1, 2, 2.9. Of course, Austin kicks out. Drunk and all. Empty bladder and all. Austin's fine. He ends up doing it. There's a spot where Austin goes for a punch, but the referee actually holds Austin's arm. He's like, no, you're not allowed to do it. And Flair does the eye poke. All of that good stuff. Flair goes for, work the knee as Flair does. There's stunners and there's figure fours. But Austin ends up hitting a stunner at the end to get the win. Austin's back on the active roster, and now Flair is Austin's assistant. So,
can't wait for all that to play out. Mm-hmm.
Me too. It's also, I believe, next week's Raw is, Austin Brock. The match that definitely happens.
So this,
infamous
okay.
match. I believe so. It's a King of the Ring qualifier. I believe it's next week. It could be the week after, but it's the infamous match. The match that definitely did happen. Definitely. So, can't wait to see what happens with Flair being Austin's assistant.
Oh boy.
But Raw goes off the air with Austin celebrating with beer. More beer. He's getting more drunk. Because drinking all day isn't enough for Austin, I guess.
Well, I think it kind of parallels his feelings and thoughts at the time.
Honestly.
Especially with what is about to happen. Dum, dum, dum.
Yeah, so that Raw was something else. But
Yeah,
vote for me because I sat through it. I watched this so you didn't have to. I mean, unless you like vomit, then go for it. If that's your kink, go for it. Or piss. Or bums. I really don't know.
Ric Flair.
Or Shawn. If you like Shawn Michaels with a short haircut, by all means, this is the show for you. What a shitstorm.
It's pretty wild. As far as Raws goes, that was the most fucking random one you've done so far.
I don't know
Easily.
what happened. And I'm not even like... The sad thing is that that's genuinely how it played out. I wish I was making it up. Not even I could make up that.
I feel SmackDown pales in comparison. Sadly,
oh god,
there is no vomit.
Piss?
On SmackDown.
Got any piss? You got any shit? Someone shit on someone?
No, but there is sexy time.
Ooh, woohoo! Love it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we may as well get into SmackDown.
Yes, we shall get into Le SmackDown from Oklahoma City this week. And we don't get an opening to SmackDown this week. It's straight in. We don't get Marilyn Manson. We don't get any pyro, which is annoying because
that was my favorite part of SmackDown last week. I was like, ooh, yes.
Yeah, and I'd actually say Across the Nation was probably my favorite part. Yeah. I was like, yeah.
I was feeling. I was like, beautiful people. I was like, yes.
I don't know whether it's because I'm hearing it every single week now, but I think that's actually becoming my favorite SmackDown theme. But I know for a fact that when I move into the next stage of SmackDown,
it reminds me of Shut Your Mouth. That's why I love it so much.
Yes.
And I love that game.
Nostalgia.
Yes.
Right. But we didn't get it this week. Instead, SmackDown opened a ring full of wrestlers ready to compete. And everyone was kind of like, oh, what's going on here? Everyone's in the ring. Blah, blah, blah. It's pretty obvious what's about to happen. It's as if there's some kind of battle royal that's going to kick off because you got your good dudes mixed with your shit dudes. And then out comes Triple H. And then Jericho. And then Angle. And then our favorite wrestler in WWE at this time, Hulk Hogan, comes out.
We love Hogan.
We adore Hogan on this show. So they're all in the ring. Then Vince comes out and says, we got a Battle Royal match tonight for the #1 contendership for the undisputed title at King of the Ring. Mm-hmm.
Woo.
And yeah, obviously, Vince is just like, yeah, this is going to go ahead. Away you go. Ring the bell. So the standard Battle Royal stuff, I didn't even attempt to keep up with all the eliminations, all that kind of stuff, because why would I? But one thing that I did notice, randomly, Godfather was in this match. I didn't realize he was a thing in 2002, let alone that he was on the SmackDown roster. I haven't seen him since we've been doing this show. So that was a bit weird. But he got his arse sent over the top rope, so irrelevant. They hammered the point in here that Edge was not in the Battle Royal, despite the rest of the roster. And they were kind of playing up that he has a qualifying match later on in the night, but he might not be medically ready to compete. And that's a theme that plays throughout the night. Triple H is dragged out of the ring at some point by Test and Lance Storm, gets beaten down, eventually finds his way back into the ring. And just everything's kicking off. Angle throws Holly through the middle rope, as you do. Holly comes back in and eliminates Angle. Holly eliminates Kurt Angle. And that eventually leads to a final four of Hulk Hogan, Test, Jericho, and Triple H. Test is probably the odd one out there, seeing as everyone who had entrances is in there apart from Angle. But there you go. This leads to Triple H versus Hogan together, which is always a fun sight, especially after Backlash this year. Great stuff. They do the famous and maybe overused spot of both guys touching the floor at the same time. And it's like, who wins? Who did? And they got referees arguing and throwing shit at each other. And it's, yeah, well, my guy, yeah. It's clear that Triple H landed first. I don't care what anybody says. I was looking at the free camera angles are so terrible. None of them are like that side of the ring. So it's like they're all like further behind where you can't see the legs hit. But Triple H definitely hit first. But
it's almost like Triple H is dating the boss's daughter.
Could be. And then that's it. Yeah. So this goes through a commercial break apparently. Vince comes up on the Titantron and asks the fans, who faces Taker? Is it going to be Triple H or is it going to be Hulk Hogan? And he says, well, regardless of what the fuck you guys think, I'm not going to allow some hokey okies deciding what happens.
Hokey okies, because you're in Oklahoma. That's terrible.
Classic Vince. And he said he's been on the phone with Taker. And he kind of said, Taker, what do you think? Who do you want to face? And Taker's like, I don't give a shit, Vince, to be completely honest with you.
Just vomit on me, dude. Fuck off.
Do you not know what I went through on Raw? Come on. So Vince goes, right, okay, this is what's going to happen. It's going to be Triple H versus Hogan, 1-on-1 in the main event tonight. Oh, are we in for a treat, people? Oh, yes.
Vomit doesn't seem so bad now.
No, it does not. Backstage, we have an interview with Kurt Angle, who, of course, is pretty pissed that he got eliminated in that match, especially by Hardcore Holly. And he says, I can't believe that an icon and a legend got screwed. And Kevin Kelly was just like, who are you referring to, Hogan or Triple H? He's like, are you a stupid idiot? I'm referring to myself. Of course. He said he's sick of being screwed. It's either Edge or it's Hogan or it's anything to do with the undisputed title. And he goes, now it's Hardcore Holly. He's like, fuck, underhanded stuff, throwing me out of the ring. How dare he? Hardcore Holly then walks in and says to Angle to stop stressing or he'll lose his hair. So Kurt is not happy with that little bald hair comment and says, Kurt, and he goes, Holly, I want a match with you tonight. And it seems that Holly has randomly turned babyface. Out of no, he's been a prized prick for the last month or so, and now people cheer him. It's odd. Odd, but there you go. We remain backstage. And yeah, this is actually an interesting segment. You have sick, I have zits. We're backstage with Billy, Chuck, and Rico, who are watching footage from last week's match, which you oversaw. And Rico says that they're letting themselves go and says, Billy, you definitely have a zit on your right cheek. So Billy's just like feeling his face. He's just like, no, look, mate, I definitely don't. He says, no, not that cheek, the other one. And he pulls his trunks down and half of his thong, and there it is.
Hey,
a zit.
You have thongs too. I had thongs on Raw.
But I have manly thongs.
I have Terry and Trish.
I have two sets of manly thongs in this show. One is purposely done in this segment, and one is an accident which happens later on somebody who you wouldn't expect.
Okay.
So I hope I remember to get to that because it's not in my notes.
Looking forward to it.
And then Chuck and Rico are arguing if it's a zit or a birthmark. It's like, it's a zit. No, it's a birthmark. No, it's a zit. No, it's a birthmark. Oh, yeah, I know. So Billy and Chuck, Billy reveals that Billy and Chuck have got a shot at the titles tonight. It's their last shot at the tag team titles tonight in an elimination match against Rikishi and Rico. And he says, if we lose, we're going to look for a new stylist. So there you go. That's a thing. And we don't waste any time because we go straight into that match. Rikishi Rico versus Billy and Chuck for the tag team titles. Josh, would you like to provide some kind of soundtrack for the occasion?
You look so good to me.
There it is.
Ooh. Yeah. Oh, I lost my voice at the end. Oh, sorry, growing up.
You got that last week. That must have been a pretty special moment. You singing along?
Oh yeah, it was truly, it was a mind-altering experience. Sad I didn't get to see any zits on bums this week. That would have been nice.
No. Rico and Chuck start the match with Rico immediately tapping out to a wrist lock.
Nice.
So Chuck snapmares him and locks it in, and like Rico is as if he's got like 6 ankle locks in on him, which I realize is impossible. But I'd imagine that pain level, he's there just like and
why waste any time?
He sells that wrist lock from the moment he taps to the very end of the match. He's like outside the ring, just like
committed.
And Taz is just like, he's there holding his limp wrist as if he's done something else. And Rikishi is on top. Like Rikishi just seems to be somebody who can just beat everybody. Like, it's weird. I don't remember Rikishi being this way, but it is the case. Rikishi's on top for this whole fucking thing. And goes for a stink face on Chuck in the corner, but Billy runs in, but Billy gets hit by like a pop-up cutter and is eliminated straight away. And then Chuck finally gets some offense in. He has Rikishi in the corner, and whilst he's got him there, like he's pounding away, the referee's distracted doing the whole county thing. Rico's in the other end, taking off the buckle pad, which Chuck takes advantage of. The babyface does not thwart the effort. He hits the snake eyes onto the exposed turnbuckle, goes to the pin, 2 count, because it's Rikishi. You can't get him down with the snake eyes on exposed turnbuckles. And Rico again interferes, and then Billy interferes, but Rikishi's hitting Samoan drops on fucking everybody. Billy and Chuck are out. And then the world famous Rico spinning heel kick comes into play. That devastating move. It downs Rikishi, but still doesn't win the match. First time I've seen it, doesn't finish a match. But a super kick from Chuck does. And we have new tag team champions. There you go. However, Rikishi's foot was on the ropes and Billy knocked it off during the count. So there you go. Healy ways. But Rico did get a bit of pain at the end of the match. He got hit by a top rope banzai drop. Oof. Pass. I would never like to be on the receiving end of that.
Yeah, no thanks.
Right, here we go. But we go backstage, and I know everybody has been clamoring to find out. This storyline has been going on for weeks, and they've been clamoring to find out.
Okay.
Who has been writing these horror notes? So Hurricane, he's just loitering backstage. He actually does the whole like the camera's there, and he like swoops in. It's like whoosh.
Yes.
And there he is. But he finds this horror note and says something about a witch and being in his locker room. So he goes, okay, right, I'm going to go to the locker room. And off he goes. And then comes back from an ad break in that locker room. And Nydia is sat in a chair. She is revealed as the horror note writer.
Oh, by the way, I should note, I don't know if this come up on your show, but we found out who won Tough Enough on Raw.
Yes.
It was Linda, who became Shaniqua, I'm pretty sure, and Jackie Guada, who became Miss Jackie.
Coming up.
Won. Yeah.
Coming up on SmackDown. You will see. She says, where's the thanks for all the letters I've been writing you? Where's the thanks for being the first female winner of Tough Enough? And where's the thanks for being the best sex you've ever had?
Wow, here we go.
I was like, huh? Why am I missing something here? And it turns out I am missing something. Because Hurricane comes back and he's just like, look, the Helms Nydia relationship is over. I'm Hurricane now. And he says, I'm not going to have that ruined by some horror bitch.
Horror bitch. Good one.
Oh, yeah. They like these
Nydia
plays on
TV
Hurricane.
At this point, or is this her debut?
I think this is her debut. I don't remember seeing it.
Coming in as someone who's had sex with the Hurricane.
And is a horror bitch.
She's a horror bitch. Oh my god, welcome, I'm never going to be able to look at Nydia ever again and not think horror bitch.
You horror bitch.
What an insult.
She says, I'm never going to forgive you for dumping me, and says her boyfriend is coming over to take the Cruiserweight title from you. And Hurricane is attacked from behind by a enthusiastically rednecky Jamie Noble.
Yes, here we go. My favorite storyline in the history of wrestling. Nydia and Jamie Noble. Let's go. It's my favorite.
Come on, boy.
thing.
Eat on, boy. I'm going to get you, boy. That's all that. That's we get it.
So good.
And then we get a nice little awkward snog to close out that segment, which is going to become a running theme from here on out.
Yes. Do you remember in like 2004 when Nydia was blind?
It rings a bell.
She's blind and she has the blind people glasses and she has a stick and she's blind. She's fully blind.
Doesn't he like cheat on her or something because she can't apparently see?
Yeah,
or something like
she's blind. This whole run with Jamie Noble and Nydia is like the best thing ever. I used to remember like when I used to only like I said, I only ever used to get Raw. So when I did get to see snippets of SmackDown, I remember being even a kid being like, "Oh my god, I think they're cousins." I'm so into it.
I wouldn't be surprised if they fucking revealed that in a storyline. It would work. I wouldn't be like, "That's odd."
It's implied that they were like related, or there was very rednecky stereotypes in there. But my god, when Nydia was blind, it was like, oh my god. I was like, this is amazing. And as an adult who loves stupidity in wrestling now, oh my god, it's like I could just watch that on repeat. It's
coming soon to This versus Josh in 2 years' time.
Oh my god, Nydia blind. Oh, there's a spot here for everybody. Royal Rumble 2004, I believe. There's a spot in a match where Nydia's blind and she goes to sweep someone's legs and she can't see, and it goes on for like 5 minutes. And she's just like, oh, this is awful. I love it.
I'm here for it.
Yes.
I'm here for it. So, we're going to have that going forward, which is fun. But we go to some in-ring action. It's Christian versus the Big Valboski. I've literally written like 4 lines on this. It's a nothing match within 2 or 3 minutes that ends with a spinning sit-out powerbomb by Val for the win. I'm not going to say any more than that. It was
cool.
A bit turd. We go to Vince's office. Now, when I usually say when we go to Vince's office, I think there's kind of an expectation, if you will, that something is going to happen. But you're going to be disappointed this week.
Oh, what?
I'm
No
disappointed
Marie,
this week.
No Stacy?
No. Well, yes, but no.
Oh.
So he's on the phone to Taker still. Talking about Triple H and Hogan tonight, and I'm sure Taker's like, dude, I'm trying to get fucking Dreamer sick out of my fucking ring gear.
Who's running the show if Mr. McMahon's on the phone?
But he ends up hanging up that call because the Tough Enough women walk in. Linda and Jackie, and I actually put in brackets here, they both won?
Yeah,
because
so
I didn't
know.
Like I was really confused because I thought it was like one female and
controversial.
male.
It was controversial. Oh my god. When they Stacy did this thing, you know, Stacy Keibler's tremendous acting. They announced Linda as the winner and Jackie was crying, and then she looks at the other envelope and she's like, is Mr. McMahon okay with this? They showed it on Raw, so I have it fresh in my memory. And he's okay, and then she's like, Jackie, and Jackie's like, oh my god. And the boys were Kenny King. Do you know who Kenny King is from TNA and all of that? Do you remember Kenny King?
No.
You don't remember Kenny King? He was like, he was the X Division champ for a long time in like 2012.
No.
Well, he was no. One of the dudes, and he was pissed. He was like, what the fuck? Like 2 girls, 1. Because at that time, that wasn't a thing that was happening. Because it was a dude and it was Maven and Nydia that won the first, or the Hara bitch, I should say. And then, Jackie and Linda won this one.
Hmm.
Oh, so wait, is Vince going to grope these 2 as well?
No.
Oh,
we are saved.
Welcome to the WWE, ladies.
Yes. So they walk in to basically just introduce themselves. Then Ivory walks in shortly afterwards and is like,
Ivory's on Raw, isn't she?
I don't know. I haven't seen Ivory on this show since we started this, so it's the same with Godfather. Like, Ivory's popping up, Godfather's popping up. I don't know what the fuck's going on anymore. You've got Benoit. Like, There's secret trades happening that we don't even know, and free agents getting signed. It's crazy stuff. But Ivory walks in saying, look, guys, this is not how this works. You don't just barge into Vince's office. It's disrespectful. And Linda then gets in Ivory's face. But Vince is just like, don't worry about it. It's not disrespectful. But he said, I can see there's a little bit of tension between you three ladies. So how about this? WWE is all about opportunity. And there just so happens to be a new show out in the WWE universe. He doesn't say that, but that's essentially what it is. It's called Velocity.
Oh, yeah.
We had that famous women's championship match a couple of weeks back between Stacey and Trish in a bra and panties match. And now at least they're evolving it into a wrestling match between Ivory and Linda. And for some reason, Jackie's not involved in that, even though Vince said there's tension between all three of you. So I don't know what's happening there. There you go. And then they leave. And you'd think they could go this whole segment without a little bit of creepy Vince, but you've got to keep that tease in there. He googly eyes somebody's arse on the way out. I don't know whose arse it was, but it's definitely looking down and smiling. So it's there.
I have nothing to add.
It is there. It is there, but it's just not as obvious as it usually is. So he goes to some in-ring action. It is Kurt Angle versus Hardcore Holly. And as I said, Hardcore Holly is now seemingly a face after being a prick the last 2 months. Gets a good, decent pop, even though it might be canned. Who knows? It's actually a decent match. It's a good back and forth. Eventually leads to Angle countering a Alabama Slam into an ankle lock, and he nearly gets the win, but Holly gets to the ropes. And then Holly then gets up and attempts a roll up, but then Angle rolls through on that roll up, gets next to the ropes, grabs the ropes for the win. So Angle is victorious through cheating means, that dastardly heel, even though he accused Hardcore Holly of being a cheat earlier, and then he's cheating. Oh, it's all kicking off. Holly attacks after the bell. He's pissed off, hits an Alabama Slam, and then tries to take off Angle's wig, which is the running theme and will be until we reveal the baldness. But Angle clocks him in the nuts. So Angle goes out of the ring, goes for a chair, changes his mind. He wants the ring bell, slides in. Holly basically dodges, grabs the ring bell off Angle, and boom, headshot. And Angle scuppers out of the ring after being clocked by a ding. I love it when a ring bell's used.
Oh, me too. Ding. I'm a big mark for it, yeah.
Magical. So I don't know if that's set to continue or not, but that's how that shit went down. Now, here's my favorite thing of the night by a country mile. We go to a hospital where Maven is in a bed. So I'm pretty sure you said Tajiri kicked 10 bells of shit out of him last week. Or something like that.
Yeah,
he has a leg injury. He has a leg injury. And Tori comes in and says, "Oh, I'm here to cheer you up." And she happens to be holding a banana in her hand, which is peeled. And she doesn't bite it. She sucks the end of the banana.
Of course she does.
So obviously Maven's like, ooh, boy, you can see his eyebrows fucking bouncing all over the place. And a nurse walks in. His
eyebrows and not something else.
Yeah, well, here we go. A nurse walks in and reminds him that he has to keep his leg elevated. And Maven says, "Oh, it's definitely elevated right now."
Oh my
god! And they're just like, "Oh, look, can you just give us a little bit of time? Can you give us a little bit of time?" And the moment that nurse leaves and that door shuts, Tori, whoosh, top is off. She's wearing this pink bra, and then she's walking around the side of the bed. Curtain across, so you don't see anything, but there's definite fellatio going on in there, and that closes the segment for now. Because after the ad break, we find Tajiri coming into the hospital and proceeding to the reception desk.
Oh, no.
And he's like, "Oh, like, can you tell me what room Maven's in?" And they're like, "Who?" He's like, "Maven." They're like, "Who's that?" "Maven." "Do they have a last name?" He's like, "No, it's just Maven." And another receptionist, she comes in and goes, "Oh yeah, I know who Maven is. He's the WWE guy. He's the good-looking one. Has a nice smile. Oh yeah, he wasn't tough enough." Because this nurse would know all of this stuff just casually.
Big fan.
And obviously Tajiri is pissed. He's just like, fire fucking man. And then she the final nail in the coffin is just like, oh, Tajiri. Well, she shouldn't say that, but he's like, oh, his girlfriend just walked in. She's a pretty blonde. She's just come to visit him. Maybe giving him fellatio in there. I don't know. But Tajiri's just like, ah, fucking. And off he goes. He walks off to go and find the room. Room 600. I don't know why.
Everyone's looking for Maven.
Room 600.
And
so
anyone wants a nice show.
I can see him. And then we have like a random, like I don't know if they do this on Raw with JR and King, but we had like an extensive bit of chat with Cole and Taz, and they were talking about Edge's situation, and then the Hogan Triple H match tonight, and I was just like, yeah, whatever. Just take me back to that hospital, please. And they did. Tajiri's now dressed as a doctor, and he's found room 600. And he's about to go in, but a klaxon starts going off. Like, emergency, all doctors not on call. Like, fucking proceed to the ER. And he's just like, oh, like, what's going on? And then these doctors are just happen to be walking around the corridor. They go, doctor, we need you. And he's like, no. I need to go in here. And they're like, no, come on, we need everybody we can. And they start dragging him down to the ER. And we don't see Tajiri then until later on. Then we go for some inverted commas in-ring action. It's Edge versus Jericho, or what should have been Edge versus Jericho. Of course, it's been built up all night that Edge might not be competing, and he comes out with a sling during his entrance. So he's not in his ring gear. He's just in casual civvies. So yeah, he won't be competing tonight. Says last week when he hit that spear off the top rope, he tore his shoulder. And says that he's going to have to go away for a while, so he's therefore forfeiting this match. So Jericho comes out and says, look, I'm annoyed that I couldn't beat the shit out of you tonight, basically, and requests that Edge raises his hand in victory, and he's just like, come on, you jackass, raise my hand, and just being a general bell end. So Edge has enough, attacks him with his one good arm, and then Jericho just goes for the attack, absolutely brutalizes him, pulls off the padding on the ring barrier, throws Edge into it arm first, attacks him against the ring post, and then hits it all off with a steel chair shot onto Edge's shoulder while he's laying on the steel steps. And while all that's going on, I'm like, oh, there you go. That's kind of selling Edge's injury. This is cool. It's ruined by a save by the Big Valboski, because we all know Edge and the Big Valboski are best fucking friends.
Like, I don't get it either.
So Jericho, off he goes, and the Big Valboski's kind of like checking on Edge. So next week, it looks like we're getting Jericho versus the Big Valboski. Yay. Dawn Marie.
Oh, she's here.
She is here. She's heading to Vince's office, but Stacy comes out to greet her and says, look, if there are any papers that you have for Vince, then they go through her. I'm his assistant, so that's just the way things are. And Dawn says, nah, Vince has asked for them personally. But Stacy's just like, nah, change the plan, hand over the papers, and says, oh, by the way, Dawn, you should button up your blouse because you're looking a little bit desperate. And Dawn's just like, well, you're just jealous with what I have. And then Stacy storms off back into Vince's office, and that is it. There is no seediness. There's no creepiness. There is no creepy Vince. There's disappointment.
Oh, what a letdown.
I know. You had Dawn, you had Stacey and Vince on the same show, and all three of them weren't together at any point. Disaster. It's ruined SmackDown, apart from the fellatio stuff, because that was really good. Especially
we love good intercourse around here.
Of course. So we go into the locker room with Kidman, and in comes Lance Storm. He says, look, Billy, I've been hearing people talking around the bazaars saying that then you're not exciting enough, you're a bit boring, you don't have any charisma. And Billy Kidman was like, well, it means a lot coming from somebody who definitely has all those qualities. And by the way, you have the best haircut in WWE by some way. And then he leaves. They have a match tonight. We go back to the hospital. And annoyingly, we don't see Tajiri conducting any surgery, which is where I was hoping that segment was going, but we don't see it. So Tori and we remember Tori and Maven. She opens the curtain. Surprised there isn't a little spot there where she wipes her mouth. I thought that was good. That would have been in there, but that didn't happen. But they both look happy. They're very excited. In comes the Doctor holding a clipboard or a thing over his
classic
face.
Doctor move.
Who is it? Who is it? It's Tajiri.
And my god, I can't believe
poison mist. Green mist into Tori's face, and she's like, which she keeps up for the whole rest of the segment. And then Tajiri throws Maven on the ground. He's kicking the fuck out of his leg, gets his leg trapped between the door and the door frame. He's like, bang, 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 and then leaves. And that Maven's like, ah. So he's gone from having
tired. He's tired,
so, exhausted.
Yeah.
So he's gone from being incredibly happy to that. So he's gone from having one leg beaten and then another leg beaten. Then we go for Billy Kidman. No, we go for Billy Kidman versus Lance Storm. Again, I've got like 4 lines on this. Went for 2 minutes. It was enjoyable, to be fair. But Storm wins with a super kick. End of deal. That's
nice.
Throwaway thing. Another throwaway thing was a Triple H interview talking about Taker's attack last week and the match tonight, but Triple H doesn't say a single word in the whole thing and gets in Kevin Kelly's face and walks off. Yay. Great stuff. And it all leads to this wonderful main event for the number 1 contendership for the Universal title.
Wow.
For the Undisputed title.
Wait a minute.
Triple H.
Okay, never mind. No. Never mind. Go on. It's fine. I completely had a brain fart, but it's fine.
Triple H versus Hulk Hogan. And my first line in my notes says it all. I fell asleep during Hogan's entrance and woke up when he was hulking.
Nice.
There you go.
Love that.
And I didn't bother to rewind
why would
and
you?
find out what I missed.
Why the fuck would you? There's no point.
So he was doing his hulky stuff, misses a leg drop, and then Triple H capitalizes with a pedigree for the win.
Yay!
God knows what happened before any of that, but that's what happened. There you go.
Best main event ever. Best main event ever.
If that was it, if it was literally Hulkin, missing a leg drop and a pedigree, that's how every Hulk Hogan match should go from now on. It won't, but that's how it should go on.
Hulkin. That's a weird sentence to say, isn't it? Say that a few times. Hulk Hogan. Hulk. Sounds like we're saying
Hulk Hogan.
Weird. All the Americans will be like, they're fucking stupid accents. They can't say Hogan.
And that's why you don't get votes. You're fucking insulting people.
Listen, I gotta try something. I tried being nice. I tried jerking everyone off, and it didn't work. So fuck y'all. Vote for me.
Try
to
do a Tory.
Yeah, hello. I look better than Tori, so she wishes.
Naturally.
She wishes.
And then, this is some fucking bullshit. Triple H goes to help Hogan up, and Hogan's throws him off him. He's like, piss off. So Triple H is like, yeah, whatever, I'm not getting involved. Leaves the ring, starts heading up the rank, and then Hogan's got a mic. He's like, get your ass back in here, Triple H. I'm not done with you. And you're like, oh, here we go.
We're so done with you, though, Hogan.
I know, he gets in the ring. So Triple H is like, what you fucking want? You want some more? And he's just like, I'm man enough to admit when I'm not the better man, and I'm willing to give you a handshake. So he gives him a handshake. Amazing stuff. So Hogan then goes to leave, and Triple H is like, no, come back in the ring. He says, it's clear that we have unfinished business. And then starts doing all the Hulk Hogan shite, doing the whole arm fucking whaley thing, going, yeah, cupping his ear with his hand and blah. So they're hulking around the ring together. It's a wonderful sight. And the savior of all things shitty Hogan, out comes Kurt Angle. Oh, magical. I love that theme song. I loved it even more during this. Distracts both Triple H and Hulk Hogan just enough for The Undertaker to get in from behind and start pounding away. And by this point, Angle's in the ring as well. They're both attacking. And then that's how the show ends. Angle and Taker beating down HHH and Hogan. Voila.
Done and dusted.
There you go.
Two very different shows.
Yes.
Same lovable approach. Kind of. So vote for Vomit this week.
Vote for Fellatio this week.
Tori Wilson, Tommy Dreamer. I know what I'd vote for.
Fellatio. I don't know why I keep calling it fellatio.
I don't know why either.
I love
it makes
that
me feel that word makes me feel icky. I don't know what it is about it.
Fellatio. It's like PG. It's the PG version, despite the fact I F and S all the way through this show.
Same.
Blowy.
Blowy. A blowy. Oh. Dits. A blowy. Tori gave old mate Maven a blowy.
Get that in the episode description.
Oh god, that could be the episode title. I think I'm just going to call this episode, I don't have a fucking clue what I should call this episode. Because what the fuck is this shit? Holy fuck. And Hulk Hogan was there. Like, that's what I'll probably call this episode. What the fuck is this?
Puke and blowy. Bomb and blowy.
Fellatio. Just call it Fellatio.
Just call it
clickbait.
Fellatio.
That's a clickbait title. Come to this episode, there's sex on it.
It's just worrying considering the two hosts, but there you go.
Hey, we don't judge here. Each to their
we don't.
own. No,
we do not.
You do you or someone else. Whoever you want to do, you do. I guess.
As long as you fellate. Is that the word? Is that the correct verbiage?
I don't know.
As long as you fellate.
As long as
Fellatio,
you sex.
fellate.
As long as you sex.
Fuck me, this has gone downhill.
I don't know what the fuck. My outros are never great, but Jesus Christ.
Yeah, this is something. It's like Raw, essentially. That's what we were just mirroring Raw right now.
I don't know. My show doesn't have a racist in the main event, so I don't know. Well, that'll kind of do us this week. Dits, I know you had a fairly cool episode on your stuff this week, so maybe put that over?
Yeah. So this week we had Mike Herman on the show, who is the top dog at Retrosoft Studios, and they're currently making a game that you may know, Retromania Wrestling. I've been keeping an eye on this thing for the last couple of months, and it looks really, really good. It's the official sequel to a very old wrestling game called WrestleFest. It's kind of in that like arcadey 2D vein. I'm really looking forward to the game coming out. So it was a bit of an added little boost that we got Mike on the show, and it's a very, very, very good chat. And I had so many audio hiccups with this thing, and it took me hours to edit it. So even if you don't care about Retromania Wrestling, just check out the episode just for the pure fact that I spent hours trying to fix the damn thing. But no, it's one of our favorite episodes that we've done. So go and check that out because it is very good, and you'll learn a lot about not only Retromania, if you know you're interested in that coming out in July or August, depending on COVID stuff. But like, there's a lot of love of video games in general in there as well, and some old school wrestling talk. So yeah,
go and check that out. Of course, I've got my all the stuff going on the network this week. Of course, you'll catch us next Friday. Next week is the next time you hear Dits versus Josh for 1 week only, just for takeover reasons, because why would I want to release a takeover review 4 days after it's happened?
Yes.
It seems silly. So you'll hear reverb on you'll still hear reverb this Friday, and then you get another reverb on Monday. So, you know, flagship for a reason, am I right?
No.
Okay, well that'll do it. I don't have anything else to promote, I don't think. Oh, thank you everybody for the love on the Twitch charity event last week. That was fun. In the middle of it, Peyton Royce and Billy Kay were talking to me. It was weird. I was like, what the hell? You actually popped into my chat and you were like, you need to go on your Twitter. And I was like, oh, bitch, I've seen. My Twitter was
I was busy doing other stuff, and I was just like, oh, Josh is actually fucking recording right now, so I'll just see how it's going. So I went on your Twitter and saw that. I was like, oh shit! I was like, if I go into the stream even for just 2 minutes, I need to drop that in just in case he hasn't seen it. I was like, and then it was just.
It was a good.
It was good stuff. That was very good.
I did raise money for animals. Peyton Royce and Billy Kay noticed me, and I was like, I'm iconic too. I'm in. But I will just point this out there. JPQ will be listening to this, and he'll appreciate this. Well, Peyton retweeted me, but Billy didn't. Billy replied, but she didn't retweet. So I don't know. Someone did execute that slap, and it wasn't Peyton. I'm just saying. Just saying. I'm not trying to do anything to dispute, because I know they're listening, Billy and Peyton, because we're all friends now. Well, we're friends. We're BFFs.
And so, I'm friend by default, which is great.
Yeah, by association, you're like their associate now. So, it's fine.
Acquaintances.
So, Billy, Peyton, I don't want anything to happen to the Iconics, but I'm just throwing it out there, Billy. Peyton did retweet it. So I'm just saying. But until whenever you hear my voice again, or if you just listen to this show, we'll catch you next Friday for more Dits versus Josh.